Everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm happy you were here. I am Shelby Osamu, and today is the, I think, fourth part of me comparing the Bungo Stray Dogs manga to the anime. I am now going to go over chapters 16 through 20 and kind of just talk about the different things. If you can tell, I also got a mic, so we're going to test out and see how that goes. Fingers crossed. So for the most part, the beginning of 16 is kind of similar from what I remember anyway. In Anne's room and with Lucy and everything, it was, from what I could tell, it was the same. The biggest parts I want to talk about though is afterward, when they all kind of go different directions, and then the random ass doctor that was there, and it's revealed that he's Mori, the boss of the Port Mafia. I think you can get an idea as to who he was already, just based on Elise, I think, and his voice a little bit. But I still like the drama-ness of them not really saying who he is yet. And I really enjoy the fact when he shows up to one of the Port Mafia members who was dead, and everybody's there and starts kneeling. That scene is also good in the anime, but I think the manga looks way more dramatic. And I don't know if it's just because of the black and white prospect of it, probably, but it really adds a lot to the scene, this kind of drama-ness of seeing somebody dead and then all the members around them. And Chuya being there as well, and also kneeling and talking about what they're seeing and stuff like that, and then revealing who Mori is, and that he is the boss of the Port Mafia. And I really like it in the anime as well, but about Mori's hair for a second in the manga. His hair looks flat, and then him silking it back does not really help the situation. And the anime, at least, he still kind of has it sleeked back, but they still give him a little bit of volume, I think, so it doesn't look as flat. But the manga, his hair looks flat as hell. I don't really know why it bothers me, but it does. It bothers me for some reason. His hair is not great in the manga. Obviously the animation probably does better because it is animated, so they can have it a little bit more of a volume feel to it versus how the manga probably could. And it's just a little thing, but every time I see him, my eyes immediately go to his hair. And I'm like, dude, you need to do something. Take some inspiration from your anime guy. Just something. Maybe do something. I don't know what you could do, but just for the love of God. The other scene, too, is that it's a small one, but, it's the little things. When Chuya is the one, shows Chuya kneeling. In the anime, I really like that scene because he kneels, all the way down, and it has the it has a scene of him, knelt down, side profile, his hair, falls over. He doesn't have his hat on. He's holding it like this into his chest. I really like that scene because I love Chuya, so any Chuya moment is exciting for me. But the manga one, I think, is good, but then that has an extra scene that I like too, that I kind of wish the anime did, is it zooms in to Chuya's face, Chuya's adorable little face, and does this cool zoom in of him talking to Mori. And again, it's the little things, but little Chuya bean, his face is just adorable, so I love that moment, mainly because it's Chuya. But those scenes were really cool. Again, it's the little things, nothing really too major. I just think the manga really dramatizes it because of the black and white. Biggest problem I have with Mori in the manga is literally his hair. His hair drives me crazy. But you know what? It's just a little thing and I can look past it. Another moment too is in the anime when Atsushi and Kyoka have Kyoka's first mission. And it kind of just shows them not being able to get in, and then she's like, oh, I got an idea, and just vanishes. And then shows up to the person and accidentally tases him, and then it's like, here you go. I just tased you, but here's your thing that you needed. But the manga literally has her, how she got there, going undercover, disguising herself, and just blending in with everyone. And I'm like, why don't we get this in the anime? Cute little Kyoka just roaming around and trying to get into this place just to do this one mission that, her first one especially, so she was more into it than, most people would have. One that we're going to mention One of my favorite lines from Kunikida is when he's fighting, or when Atsushi is fighting, oh god, I forget how to pronounce her name. It's one of those names that I have a hard time pronouncing. But y'all know who I'm talking about. She's got the orange hair, executive of the Port Mafia. She is very close to Kyoka. You know who I'm trying to say. I can never pronounce her name correctly. So I'm not even going to try. When he is fighting her, and Kenji and Kunikida and some other people show up, and Kunikida, like, grabs him by the collar and is like, quit being some kind of damsel in distress. You're a were-tiger. Grow some were-balls. One of my favorite lines of Kunikida. I love it so much. And what is even funnier to me is that in the manga, he actually gives almost like a little inspirational thing to Atsushi. Instead, he says, I have it pulled up. That's what I keep looking at. He says, to get back on your feet even when you're full of holes, isn't such toughness the man-tiger's strength? How did we go from an inspirational speech to telling him to grow some wereballs? Like, what? That just cracks me up. The manga was like, Kunikida, please give an inspirational speech to Atsushi at this time that he really needs it. And then the anime is like, Kunikida, talk some shit into this jackass were-tiger. Like, where did we go? I don't understand. It's funny. I prefer the anime in this moment because one of my favorite lines from Kunikida, and I think it's because it's Kunikida who says something like that. I could see Dazai saying it. I could even see Rampo saying it, to be quite honest with you. So the fact that it's Kunikida is just really funny to me. I loved that. I love that change for the anime. After all of that entertainment, and they actually capture her, the ADA does, and the scenes of her and Dazai, the scene of him, you know, holding his hand up kind of like he's, you know, popping them or something, and just, I love that scene. I don't fully remember his line that he says in the anime, but the manga, he says, starting from now, things are gonna get naughty. Imagine here for a second, if this scene in the anime, picture the scene in the anime, but Dazai saying that line, every woman would need Dr. Yoshino's ability because we would all be gone. Like, every woman in this planet, universe, not even just woman, I am sure some men would probably also feel the same way too. Everybody would, of just Dazai in the anime but saying this line. We would all be toast. Like, and then, you know, when he talks about as well that everybody who he interrogated told him the truth because nobody else could get them to, but he could. I'm sorry, but if I was interrogated by Dazai, I would tell him anything he wanted. I would cave immediately. It would not, if he walked in doing the little hand thing in the anime and saying that line to me, I would say, I'll tell you anything you want to know, Dazai. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Like, it's just, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here that probably feels that way either, but it's just, it's very entertaining to me. I do like the anime's version, but I think putting in the manga line that he says would have been just, you talk about every woman being feral. That's what would have happened with the scene of Dazai, is just that. Line too, or scene in the manga that I do like, there's this little panel of the three leaders of the guild, Port Mafia, and Armed Detective Agency. And Francis looks really cool in this. I think he looks awesome looking. Fukuzawa even looks sick in this panel. The only thing is Mori needs to do something with his hair. Still looks fine, but I just, compared to the other two, the hair, man. The hair. He needs to do a little something different. I don't to Nathaniel's panel whenever you meet him from the guild, and lemon guy, you know, they have him taken and stuff, and he throws the lemon bomb back at him to explode him, making him think he killed him. And that panel actually looks really cool in the manga. I don't fully remember how it looks in the anime, but I think it looks cool. There's something about black and white sometimes I think does a really good job for manga to kind of give a more dramaticness than an anime could, but it's still really sick. I don't remember Lemon Guy's name. Could not tell you his name. I just call him Lemon Guy because that's what he is. He's literally the Lemon Man. So, that's what I call him. If you know his name, good for you. I can never remember it to save my life, so we're just keeping him as Lemon Guy. Because that's what he is. Literally the Lemon Man. I think I had a scene of where there's like a senator or something like that shows up full of lemon bombs in his body. Like, Margaret, I think, says something about thinking that he died by the Port Mafia, and then it's revealed that he just has a ton of bombs in his body. That took a dark turn. I don't think the anime does that, but that's a dark little moment there. I've seen this man with bombs inside his face and his entire body. And so, like, the manga added this really darkness, and then the anime was like, no, we're not going to go that far. That's a little too much. Which, I mean, I think probably still could have been fine if you added it to the anime, but it is a very dark moment there to think, if you actually think about that moment. It's not like a terrible thing either. It's not like it really shows a whole lot, but it's still just kind of, to think about it, it is a little dark though. Mori is playing chess, and then he is talking about, he says, now it's time to send forth my most spirited piece. And the panel of him just looks, one, terrifying. Even the line is a little terrifying. But it just, something about the manga, this manga especially, does a really good job of making those type of moments even more creepy and sketchy than it could or needs to be. But I'm not mad about it, especially when you think about Mori just being Mori. It's a really cool moment of how I like the manga when it comes to those dramatic moments, because it really adds something to the scene when the manga can add this dramaticness to it like it does. And I also love the fact Atagawa, when he shows up, he's just not amused. He's just not. He literally shows up coughing and then just goes, let's get this over with. Like, come on. And I just picture Mori telling him, I need you to kill these people for me. Make it fun if you want to. You need a little fun in your life. And he's already out the door. Okay. Well, all right. And like, that's just how I picture it going. He says, hey, go do this job, and Atagawa's like already out the door. Like, he's just not really amused about anything. There is a moment after all of this that has the manga has chapters of like 0.5, and it's called like postscript. And I liked this one in particular. I didn't catch it. Apparently it was like the beginning of it and I just didn't see it. But this one is 20.5. And it has Dazai and Chuya talking about some of the previous like real life authors that the characters are based off of. And they are talking about Dazai. And the conversations that they kind of start with of Dazai and Chuya are very Dazai and Chuya. I can see them having a conversation like this. Like, it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to read it. I will have it up on the screen if you guys want to pause it and look at it and read it if you want to kind of get an understanding of what I'm talking about. But they talk about, one of them is actually the real Osamu Dazai, and which is really, really cool for them to do. I really enjoyed reading it. I'm kind of excited. I hope they do more of both of them. The moments that they talk about, too, was really funny. I could kind of see Chuya just being like, do we really have to talk about you? Like, you're Osamu Dazai. Why are we talking about you? And Dazai's like, not the anime me, the real life me. That one. And Chuya's like, oh, all right, we talk about that one. Like, I could see that, honestly, happening. But it's actually really cool, and I'm kind of excited to read the other ones that they have, too, as I continue on. For chapters 16 through 20 of Bungo Stray Dogs anime versus manga. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to hit the like button, go subscribe, go do all the fun things that you do. And go check out my TikTok. It's also under the same name, Shelby Osamu. I have an Instagram now as well that clips of this will be on too. It's Shelby Osamu 24. All caps, no spaces or anything like that. It's also in my bio on my TikTok, and I think it's on my YouTube. I don't remember if I did that or not. I don't remember if I did anyway. But, yeah, stay tuned for the next chapters, and I am happy you are here. Believe it.